Okay, we are back. It has been 2 weeks, and I hope you guys had a great Turkey Day. It was a very good weekend. The Dallas boys won, of course. We are 10-1, and we're looking really, really good, and I'm just glad to be back. Pastor Don is with us. This is the weekly Pastor Don Devotional. Pastor Don, we really your devotional. I hope you had a great happy Thanksgiving.
I did. I was blessed to be able to go with my wife up to Lake Tahoe area for about 7-8 days and had a wonderful time, and it was nice and cold and snowy.
Right. Okay. I brought a special guest to join us. She's been listening to us all the way from Fresno. No, that's Stockton, right? Stockton. Sorry. Well, Fresno. I think I'd rather say Fresno. Stockton is kind of. But a good friend of mine, Andrea Felton, has come down for the holidays. And what brings you down to Southern California?
I have a sister who's going to have my third nephew, and celebrating Thanksgiving for the week.
Mm-hmm. And you got your daughter. Your daughter's name is?
Kennedy.
Kennedy, do you want to say anything or get on the radio? And
Hi!
Okay.
There you go.
What grade are you in, Kennedy? 10th. Okay, well, you could come get on the mic so we can hear you a little bit, but she's in 10th grade. Last Kennedy, she was, 8?
She was 5.
5 years old, so now she's a big, tall young lady, tall like her dad's people, I would say.
Yeah,
so,
I'm short.
Yeah, so great. So, again, Pastor Don, thank you for having us. The holidays are still here, so Merry Christmas as we get into that. A lot of stuff is going on. We had the church plant meeting last night. Sorry, I was late. Again, I was not on Black People time. I had something else I had to do, but I did show up. So, I was in traffic, but I did show up for that. So, Pastor Don, it's your show. Tell us what we're going to get into, and we really need some devotional inspiration.
Well, again, thanks so much again for all you do, Donovan, in producing this podcast for me. I'm excited to be here this morning, as always, on Tuesday mornings. And again, before I start, I do want to, pray that everyone had a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving holiday last week. And I pray that God was the centerpiece of your Thanksgiving time, family and friends. Just to remind our listeners, 2 weeks ago, I did a devotional on understanding what stewardship was about. And in summary, biblical stewardship is utilizing our time, our talents, and treasures for the glory of God. Well, this morning, I want to talk to you about people and how they utilize their time. I don't know if you realize this, but most people are creatures of habit. You and I basically do the same routine just about every day. Think about it. A typical day may be that you get up, you get a shower, you get dressed, you eat breakfast, you go to work, you come home, you make dinner, you eat dinner, you clean up, you relax, and then you go to bed, or some variation of that. Then you get up the next morning and do the exact same thing over and over again. So when someone suggests to you to do something different outside your routine, you might get just a little nervous. You start thinking that you can't because you don't have any time to make any changes to what you're already used to. But in reality, you do have the time, but you may not be willing to change your routine. Folks, I can't emphasize the importance on how we use our time. I mean, think about it. You could have an amazing talent, then you get injured or you get an illness that doesn't allow you to use that talent for a period of time. But here's the beauty is that once you've recovered, you go back and use that talent again. You could have had lots and lots of money, but then unfortunately you lose it, let's say in a recession or in the stock market. But you can always make money back again and return to your original bank statement balance. But time is different. Once it's gone forever. It's hard for me to fathom, but I will never be 25 years old again. The same holds for you too, right, Donovan?
Yes, right. I'm 26.
Yeah, right, okay. When that time goes by, it is completely gone forever. It does not come back. And guess what else, my friends? Time is the greatest equalizer of all time. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, married or single, black or white, tall or short, live in the U.S. or Africa or wherever else, we all get the exact amount of time each day. If you are wealthy, you can't buy more time in a day. And God gives it to us freely each and every day for us to use at our discretion. But there is a catch. There is a famous quote that goes like this, and listen to this, folks. Time is the only commodity that each person has on a bank statement that only God knows the balance. In other words, none of us have any idea how much more time we have on earth. It could be one day, it could be 1 week, or it could be 60 years. Only God knows the number of days we have left on earth. Folks, time is such a priceless gift from God. As I've already mentioned, God deposits 24 hours a day in each person's account every day, no matter who you are. That equates to 86,400 seconds, or 1,440 minutes a day. And here's the greatest thing about that. As I already mentioned, God does not tell us how to spend our time. He gives it to us as a gift, and we can utilize it in any way we want. So the question that you and I need to be asking ourselves this morning is this: what are we doing with our time for the glory of God? Well, I'm glad you asked, even though you may not have. The reason is because I want to give you a couple suggestions on how to utilize your time possibly slightly different than your current routine. First thing is that you need to make quality time with God in prayer. Now, I'm not talking about those quick 5-second prayers before a meal or those 2-minute prayers right before you're falling asleep.
Right.
I'm talking about a 1 minute or 5 minutes or 10, 15 or even longer minutes of prayer with God in complete devotion to Him. Now, when I say complete devotion, this would mean no TV, no computer, no cell phone, no kids, and no video games. In other words, no distractions. This is your time with God with no interruptions, that you can worship and praise Him in devoted prayer. Now, that may sound pretty easy, but think about it. If it's not already in your daily routine, it will not get accomplished. Jesus teaches us in Matthew 6:6, but when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Then your Father sees what is done in secret, will reward you. So please, think about the best time for you to devote to God. Write it down on a piece of paper and stick with it for 1 full week. My prayer for all of you is after that 1 week, this devotion time to God will be part of your regular routine going forward. The second suggestion that I would want to give to you on how to utilize your time for God is blessing others in service. And one way that you can accomplish this is to be part of our core group team working together in planting a church in Rancho Belago. Now, you may not be able to come to the gatherings on Monday nights, but that doesn't mean that you can help us in service for this church from God. But I know that you are willing to give of your time in a way that could benefit this church plant. So you may be asking yourself, how? How can I do that? Well, to be honest, there are a few ways. First, you could be sharing the daily devotional from the Reflections Moreno Valley Church Plant page on Facebook. This would allow people to get to know our church plant and what we are all about. You can be contacting your family and friends on social media and see what they can offer for a new church. There are so many things that a new church needs, like a cross, sound equipment, chairs, and a bunch of other things that we could use. You could also be sharing my weekly audio podcast that Donovan produces to all your friends and family in order for them to be built up in Christ. You can spread the word about our GoFundMe account to your Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram friends and followers in order to help us raise money for this church. There are also so many other things that we need that you can help with, but I would need to know that you are willing to do that help. That means you would need to contact us. You can contact me by IM Instant Messenger. My full name is Don Meinberg, Meinberg, or you can text me at any time. My cell number is 951-521749. Or you can email me at reflectionschristianfellowship@gmail.com. Or you can contact Donovan through his hot seat page or his new Inland Empire page that he will be talking about in a few minutes. There are many ways to let us know that you want to serve God in this missionary journey in East Moreno Valley. All we need is for you to let us know that you are willing and able to utilize your time to be a blessing to this new church plant. Lastly, folks, it is important that we put the things of God as top priority in our lives. Jesus is clear in Matthew 6:33, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. In other words, when we utilize our time to see God's will first in our lives, he will give us the time to get all the other things we need done, and yes, even in these very busy Christmas holidays. It is all about putting him first and foremost and leaving the rest of our day in his hands. So I am asking you, please, commit to devoted prayer time to God each day and serve him through helping Donovan and I plant God's church here in Rancho Bulago. And if you are interested in being part of our core team, please let me know or let Donovan know. We would love to have you join us in this work for God. Folks, you and I, with Donovan working together, will truly make a difference for the glory of God in Southeast Moreno Valley. Thank you so much for listening, and may God richly bless you and your family.
Okay. All right. Pastor Don, again, thank you for the devotional. Again, we missed that, the 2-week thing. So it's almost like a junkie on heroin. When you don't get your fix, it kind of takes you off of your mix. So a little bit. So in regards to the News from Edgemont, we still have the News from Edgemont. That's still our Facebook page and things like that. But we've changed the name of our format because now the election season's over, because everybody needs to know what is going on. So we call it now the Inland Empire Informer. So if you want to know what's going on politically, spiritually, tune into the Inland Empire Informer. We have the Hot Seat Show. We're going to do a lot of great things as we expand our reach within the Inland Empire because we're missing information. Real quick, Miss Felton, beautiful day today. What do you think? We usually have days like this all the time, and it's days like this where I look at it and I think about God and I say, "Wow, this is an awesome God."
Well, I've been saying that since we arrived in Moreno Valley.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful area, and I do want to say thank you, Pastor Don. I didn't expect as much this morning, but I definitely appreciate your word and benefited from it.
I'm glad you're here to meet you and your daughter.
Yeah, but I want to bring to your light. What do you think about our beautiful warehouses? We have a lot of empty. No, I don't want to go there. It's not a flip, but I just wanted to get that out there. But Miss Kennedy, I understand that you're a up and coming rising artist. Is that correct?
Yes, that is true.
Okay. Would it behoove you to give us a little sample of what you got? Maybe a couple of rhymes? Or, this is your opportunity. I got some producers out there listening. You never know. Drop a "Have a nice day, it's okay. What I say."
That was so bad. But I respect you trying.
Okay.
Have a nice day. Let the sunshine be what it is today and not the rainy days.
All right. Off the cuff, that's not bad. Other than rapping, your mother's a singer, so are you?
A little bit into singing, trying to figure out where I am with that.
Okay, so what do you want to do? You're in 10th grade, correct?
Yes.
So what are your aspirations other than college? We know that's going to happen, so.
Just trying to get put out there a little bit. Trying to get put out there a little bit, see what I could do, rapping and singing.
Okay, well, when you say put out, me and Pastor Don are a different generation, so you're going to have to be a little bit more okay, there you go. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific. That's really good, and I'm glad about that. So you want to go in the entertainment industry and things like that?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm really focused more on college and becoming a child therapist.
Okay, good, yeah, because we have a lot of crazy kids out here, so we need them. So, but Pastor Don, real quick, great sermon today, but I'm going to ask you this about faith, and a lot of people go through things happen, and they continue to happen. What advice would you give somebody who not constantly gets knocked down, but things don't go their way all the time, and to keep them encouraged to keep going forward.
Yeah, I've during Thanksgiving, I hear a lot of stories about people that ask me, how can I give thanks to God when it seems like my life is falling apart or my life is not going in the direction I want to go? And sometimes, Donovan, it's a little bit about perspective. One of the things for a true believer, a Christian believer in Jesus Christ, is that no one can take away what God has given you, and that is eternal life with Him through the blood of Jesus. So that alone needs to be on the forefront of our minds. But what I love to tell people is that I understand big problems, because in my life I've experienced a lot of major issues and challenges in my life. I know big problems, but I also know one thing: I've got a bigger God. And once the faith and realizing that my God, when I was in the ditch years back, when I was in the ditch a year ago, or maybe even a month ago, or even maybe this morning, God was always there to pull me out. And that's where my faith comes in. He is a God. He's a God that you can trust. He is a God that will always be there for you. And that's where faith comes in, because He's done it before in the past, and He hasn't changed, and He'll be there for us in the future.
Right. Now, I know I'm a member of a church, I'm a longtime Catholic, and I know people say, well, I would like to help, with this church plant, but I'm a member of this church. I tithe over here, but can't you split your tithe too if you wanted to do that? You were talking last night about being a missionary. Could you kind of elaborate for those that might not have heard the message last night?
Yeah, a lot of people are called to do missionary work. And it's not unusual to say, well, I'm going to be going to Africa, I'm going to Mexico, or I'm going to other places around the world to help those people. And I think that's awesome. People that do that are called to do that. I think that's such a blessing. But the areas right in our backyard that also need to hear the gospel message. And some of those areas may not be outside our country. It could be in our own communities. So I've always said that, Balago is a missionary journey, even if you live in Moreno Valley or in the Inland Empire. And so you can't just see missionary work as just outside our country. Missionary work is anywhere where God calls you to plant seeds for His kingdom. In regards to the tithing, there is no rules in the Bible that says you have to tithe your complete,
here.
10% at a specific church or a specific area. God has blessed us with so much that if your heart is touched by wanting to spread the gospel message, to live to the Matthew 19 and 20 of spreading the good news of Jesus Christ to a church plant, then taking your tithe and giving of that tithe to a church plant would be such a blessing, and God will honor that. So I'm not telling anybody to move to your church, but in regards to wanting to help out a church plant with your tithes, I think that would be honorable and blessed to God.
Right, but here's my thing with that. When it just jumped in my mind, it doesn't matter if you're a part of this church or you're part of this church or part of that church. It's all one God.
That's right.
So if you're tithing over there, you're still doing what you're supposed to do.
It's all going to the kingdom.
Right.
Absolutely.
So what, that just hit me like, well, it wouldn't matter if I tithe over here or tithe over here. It's all going to where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, it's all part of your heart for what the work of what people are doing, what God is doing through people. And it doesn't. It's all one kingdom.
Right.
I hate when people talk about competition among churches.
Yeah.
We're all on the same team.
Right.
We really are. We are all here to do the work. We're all ambassadors for Jesus Christ. We're all here to do His work. So, I agree with that completely.
Okay, great. And then, it's just amazing how we get into that, and people just, but here's what kills me. Okay, we have this GoFundMe account, and it's not even just GoFundMe. There's all kinds of apps that you can use to give money and stuff like that. And I have friends that they're on stock apps, and these things take like $1 or $2. It's just amazing to me how people will take. We're right here in front of this Starbucks. Now, a coffee is almost $5, a basic coffee, and you're saying, some help, I'm a Christian, or I need some help to help build this church. And $5, a coffee, one thing out of the week. I don't think it's too much to ask to go a little above and beyond tithing to do. What do you think about that?
Well, it goes back to what I just talked about in regard to priorities and in regards to routines. We go to Starbucks. It's our routine. We grab our coffee. We don't even think about the $5. That's our routine.
Right.
So what you're asking them to do is stop that routine of going to Starbucks and taking that one day and giving it to a church. And that hasn't clicked yet.
Right.
Because they're so used to their routine of what they do. Right. And it goes back to the same way we use our time, we use our treasures. We need to figure out ways that we alter our routines just a little bit in order to prioritize God and His kingdom. Right. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you think about $5. I spend that just not even thinking about it. And yet, in order to change the routine to give it to God in that way, it takes a lot of time for people to realize that.
Right.
So.
And I'm a big advocate of time is money. And Andrea hears me talk about that all the time. I'm always like, I'm really intense about time. Because to me, time, we only have so much time on this earth.
That's right.
So for me, I want to get it all in. And one thing I should tell her is, sleep, I can sleep when I'm dead. You know what I mean? So, I'm trying to get it all in. And, if you can't tide and like I said, I really do call myself a Christian. I really do. And I don't have all the money. I'm not the richest man in the world, but anything that I can do, it doesn't have to be a monetary contribution. Like you said, we need people to do this core for our church. Give a little bit of your time, an hour, your day. I know traffic and stuff like that, but maybe an hour or 15 minutes. Or if you know somebody like, I know somebody that knows equipment, you know what's going on, and give us the hookup. That's what we're asking for.
Exactly. We just need your networks, because there are a lot of people that we all know, and a lot of people that got so much, so much ability, so much things to offer. But unless we ask them, they won't do it. They don't even know there's a need. It is up to us to network with them and show them what God is doing through you. That's all up to us to do that. So that's part of the giving of ourselves to this cause or for God's kingdom.
Well, like I said, the holidays are here. Pastor Don, thank you every week that you come out. We are going to be doing patience is our thing. But if people think that we're going to go away, we're going to build this church because that's what God has given the vision of Pastor Don to do. And I'm dedicated to helping in any way that I can. And we just talked about giving. Mm-hmm. I was wondering if my friend could give us a bar or two, maybe some harmony as we go out. I don't want to put you on the spot, but a bar or two.
Any Christian songs? That'd be awesome.
Yeah. No NWA, please. No NWA.
Oh, no. We don't want to bring that into the moment.
Right.
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you.
Alone in a room, it's just me and you. I feel so lost, 'cause I don't know what I'm gonna do. Now, what if I choose the wrong thing to do? I feel so afraid of disappointing you. So I need to talk to you and ask you for your guidance, especially today when my mind is so cloudy. Lord, guide me through. I open up my heart. Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. That brought me goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
I think we have a member of our choir. What do you think?
She is the choir.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
What a gorgeous voice.
Gorgeous voice. And, and that's when God-given talent. So
thank you.
You are very blessed for that. So thank you so much. But
thanks for having me.
Yes. And please come back anytime. If we do a podcast with you up at our FaceTime. What do you kids do now, Kennedy? FaceTime? Skype and things like that?
Skype.
Yeah, we try to incorporate all that stuff. But again, we're over here at the Starbucks on Day Street. We are going to be moving to the Edgemont Studios very, very soon. I carpeted in last night, everybody, so that's a good thing. And so it's coming together. It's getting a little cold. The snow is on the mountains. God is working His hand in Southern California. The heat over now. Turn on that heater to keep warm and turn the AC off. Fix the yard. It won't grow really fast. And we're going to wish you safe travels on your way back up to Stockton.
Thank you.
And Miss Kennedy, we wish you good luck with your career, and we invite you guys anytime to please come on the radio and share with us what's going on. Please check on Pastor Don and and what we're trying to do down here.
Stay tuned, Pastor John.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we can track your donations at GoFundMe. No, you got to laugh at stuff like that. But no, that was incredible, that voice that you just did. So, but every Tuesday we're here at the Starbucks. Please tune into the Inland Empire Informer. Please like and share Pastor Don's Reflections Church. These shows are archived on YouTube. Go to News from the Edgemont on YouTube. Go to Pastor Don's Reflections Church on YouTube. Got a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to be meeting on Wednesday. We're going to get that done. We are back. It is a new year. Please be safe for the holidays. And I'm going to give the mothers and the parents some good advice. If you cannot afford to give your kids the Christmas that you would want to give them, please not go into debt to do so. Because kids understand you got to live in the reality that what you're going to do is dig yourself into a deeper hole. And the best way to get out of a hole, Pastor Don, is what? Quit digging.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yes, to do the best we can, but it makes no sense for you to go into debt.
And just to follow up to that, the best gift you could ever give anyone is the gift of Jesus. Jesus is the reason for this Christmas season, and I could not agree with that more.
Right. So we'll see you guys again next week. Like I said, we thank you guys for tuning in. Pastor Don's weekly devotional. We are going to put it up, and it's also on Nextdoor app. So if you listen to the Nextdoor here in Moreno Valley, we're going to be up our meetings numbers to show you what we're doing with that, and we do a full-blown. I got video. Did people see the video of you at our first one? It was really great. People were like, "Oh, that's Pastor Don." I guess they thought you were going to be a black guy or something. But no, he's not a black guy, unfortunately. He would be perfect if you know. I'm joking, but he was. But Pastor Don, thank you again. We're going to see you again next week. It was great having you, and the Feltons also. So I think we got our chorus going. So that's really good.
No question.
Yes, absolutely. We'll see you guys again next week.